Pushing past the limits, tripping on hallucinogenics. A cigarette burnt my finger cause I forgot I lit it. Hi Sparkles, it's Jordan Sparks. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing kind of an update, my experience thus far with Invisalign. So if you're interested in that, make sure to give this video a great big thumbs up, and I will link any of my other previous Invisalign videos down in the comments below in case you want to go check them out. My case is kind of particular because I have an Invisalign case with one extraction only, and the only reason why I'm making these videos in general is because I couldn't find any information on the internet about having an Invisalign case when you have one extraction. Most cases where you have extractions with orthodontics, they do 4 extractions, but for me it was one upper bicuspid extraction and that was it. So I just left the orthodontist literally a couple hours ago, and I am currently starting week 18 in my trays today. So this is my 18th tray right here. Just going to pop it in. And no, they don't go in as easily as a retainer. You literally have to fit it around the attachments, which are like these glued on dots to your teeth. And also when you're taking them off, sometimes you have to like be careful to make sure that you can like get the tray off around all of the attachments. It doesn't really come off smoothly like a retainer, in my experience anyway. Today I'm on tray 18, but if you want to know what happened in the trays in the very beginning, like I said, I will link those videos below. I normally get either 5 to 7 new trays at each appointment, but today I just got 3, and they come in a package like this. You get a little bag that says which week you're on. I'm doing accelerated Invisalign with the PROPEL appliance right here. This charges in a USB, and basically you bite onto this, you turn it on, and it vibrates. You bite onto it for 5 minutes a day. That's literally it. And it's supposed to accelerate your Invisalign treatment by up to 40%. This cost me around $800 Canadian to add to my treatment plan, if you're interested in this. Also, this is really flimsy if you do decide to go with PROPEL. I actually broke the mouthpiece off of here twice, and I've had to glue it on with crazy glue right here. It's not the part that actually goes in my mouth. I would not recommend putting any kind of crazy glue in your mouth, but that's just me. But yeah, be super careful because these are really delicate if you do decide to go with the PROPEL. Like I said, I got 3 trays this time. I'm supposed to change them every week. This is my tray 19, and then this is my tray 20. At today's appointment, we did my second round of IPR. IPR stands for interproximal reduction. They take this really tiny little sanding blade and they sand in between a couple of your teeth in order to make space if there's overcrowding, like in my situation. You don't always have to have IPR, but in my situation and in a lot of other adult orthodontic situations where there's not a lot of leeway for moving the teeth around because you're an adult, they often tend to do some IPR. So it doesn't hurt or anything, but it does feel kind of weird. Today I went in for my second round and the orthodontist sanded in between my bottom 4 teeth. The IPR that I got the first time was the same thing, but since my teeth were a lot more crowded back then, they just did a tiny little bit of IPR, and now that they're a little bit more straight, they can go in again, and they did the rest of it, I believe. Today was the last round of IPR. When I very first started, for my first 2 trays, there were no attachments at all, and the attachments are like these little glue dots that they put around your teeth, and it helps the Invisalign trays move your teeth in specific directions. And basically, I just like to think of it as the same thing as a bracket on your braces, except for the brackets on your braces are moved by the wire, and with Invisalign, they can go in and put very precise little attachment dots wherever they want on your tooth in order to shift it in any direction that they want to. So that's what the attachments are for. They feel like little barnacles on your teeth when you're not wearing your trays, so it kind of encourages you to wear your trays all the time. But my first 2 trays were super comfortable because of the no attachments. It was just like wearing a clear retainer, popped in, popped off. They're super comfortable. You kind of forget that you're wearing anything after a few minutes with Invisalign. It's not as clunky as a retainer if you've ever worn a retainer before. For my next appointment, I got 7 trays. I got all of my attachments put on, and I also got elastics. And then I wear elastics from here, and it hooks onto this little metal hoop in the back on my molar, and the elastic is going to shift all of my top teeth towards the back and correct my midline where we've extracted this one bicuspid here. I had the one bicuspid extracted there because there was a root canal, the tooth was dead anyways, and my midline was so far off to the left that it was like Tom Cruise smile, and that was my main reason for wanting orthodontics, was to correct my bite. So we just extracted that one tooth, and now we're shifting everything to the center. And then I'm apparently going to be getting something called a T.A.D, and T.A.D stands for Temporary Anchorage Device, and it's like this little screw that they screw into your jawbone, which sounds incredibly painful, but you don't even need to get freezing or anything for it. Apparently they just like numb your gums with like a little bit of Orajel, but like there's no needle or anything, and then he's going to put in a screw here, and that's going to help bring all of my back teeth forward to help fill in this extraction gap, because you don't want to retract all of the teeth backwards anymore with orthodontics, because in recent years they've learned that that closes off the airway and your tongue needs enough space to rest in your mouth comfortably on the roof of your mouth in order for you to breathe properly. So a T.A.D is going to help bring all of those teeth forward so that we don't have to just shove everything back. But right now, we're just using the elastics to correct the midline, and then with whatever is left in that space from the extraction gap, we're going to pull it forward. So at week 18, my gap looks almost closed when I'm wearing my trays, but when I have my trays out, the gap to me still seems huge. I was looking at the very beginning and it's literally like 75% closed now, because it was one full bicuspid when I first started, but now it's almost closed. We're also creating space around these two lateral incisors, so if you've seen in my previous videos that I'm randomly getting gaps in my front teeth, that's because the Invisalign is spacing out my front teeth because the orthodontist wants me to get bonding on these two lateral incisors so they're the correct size, and so he's going to create a little bit of space for that. That's basically it for all the things that are unique to my case. Basically, they've said that I'm supposed to have 50 of these trays, should be my entire treatment, so 40% of the way through my treatment, and I started my treatment about 4.5 months ago, so that, to me, the estimated treatment time should be around a year-ish, and that's with PROPEL, which is making the treatment even faster. Some cases it's going to be a lot shorter, but my case is quite drastic. We're closing off entire extraction gaps. We're using a T.A.D, anchorage device, and elastics. There are cases when Invisalign is only going to take a couple months. There's cases where it might even take longer than mine. These are what the elastics look like. They come in a little bag like this. They give you like a little plastic hook thing to attach them if you want, but I've literally never used that ever. I just use my fingers to hook it on the back and then around the top of the top retainer. And I don't mind the elastics because the way that the elastics cross, they would actually cover up where the gap was. In the first couple trays, there was just like a clear empty tooth where that bicuspid was that would just get smaller and smaller and smaller with each tray in the beginning, but I didn't like that you could see the gap, so I was happy with the elastics because it kind of crossed over that gap space so that you didn't see that there was a giant gap there. And in the later trays, they removed the clear tooth and it was just like a clear piece of plastic, and now the teeth are basically just right beside each other, but the elastic still goes across it in general. So overall, I would say that my Invisalign experience has been pretty much what they said it would be. It's going quite smoothly. I've had this attachment on my front tooth fall off once, which was about a week ago. We just replaced that today. And then I've had this little hoop in the back from the elastics fell off once, and that was about 2 months ago. And then I just went into the orthodontist and they quickly replaced that. No worries, no problems. But other than that, I haven't had any problems with pain in my mouth or like developing any kind of blisters or anything like that because of it. And overall, it's been pretty painless, unless I have my aligners out for longer than I'm supposed to, because you're supposed to wear them for 22 hours a day. Unless I've had them out for like over an hour or something, then it's a little bit tight to put them back in. But whenever I feel like they're a little bit tight, I just use my PROPEL and I put this in for a couple minutes and it helps get the trays snug into place again. But other than that, I found it pretty comfortable. It's no more painful or painless really than braces. I think when I had braces like 7 years ago for a few months, that the braces might have even been more painful than Invisalign, and the braces definitely rub on your lips because of the brackets, so that's probably more irritating. I remember having issues with the wires, and I don't have those issues with Invisalign, so in this way it's more comfortable. I feel like the only downside is I'm somebody that likes to always have a coffee or be drinking something or snacking on something, and you can't really be snacking or drinking anything with your liners in. You have to take them out before and after eating and brush your teeth again, or else you're going to be putting yourself at risk of developing a whole bunch of surface cavities, and you don't want that. Not a cute look. You're just going to be rotting out your teeth if you're drinking and eating with your liners in, or if you don't brush your teeth and you put your liners back in, you're just going to be trapping sugar or food particles and stuff, and that's just not going to be good for your teeth. So you really have to plan out when you're going to eat and make sure that you're brushing your teeth and stuff. That's the main downside, I would say. But other than that, I would say overall the experience has been quite comfortable, quite painless. I'm super excited to see where my teeth get to in the end. I don't really like that I'm having the gaps in my front teeth, because I'm just going to have gaps in my front teeth until I'm done my treatment and purchase bonding from my dentist on my front teeth or whatever we decide to do. Just fingers crossed that it looks well and is functional in the end, because this is so expensive. Like, I'm going to be paying like almost $9,000 Canadian for my orthodontic treatment, and then I'm going to have to pay for bonding or veneers on those front two teeth after this. So overall, it's going to be a very expensive experience. So I just hope that these teeth last me for the rest of my life. I hope that this video was informative for you guys, and especially some of you guys out there that might have weird midline issues and they've been telling you that they're only going to extract one tooth. This is maybe what they might be doing for you, something with elastics, maybe a T.A.D. That's kind of typical when there's going to be asymmetric corrections that need to be fixed. But yeah, I hope that this video was useful. If you have any other questions, definitely let me know in the comments and I will try and answer them all for you. And if you're considering Invisalign, let me know in the comments. Super excited for you. If you are, I'm definitely all for making positive choices for your health, and your dental health is extremely important. And yeah, I guess that is it for this video. So as always, make sure to be weird, be wild, and stay sparkly, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye guys!